Kim Anderson thought she found the perfect husband in her fiancé, Jeff. Then came his strange, callous behavior on their wedding day.
Don't make a scene.
Oh, okay.
What she saw in him was a strong spiritual leader and great Jehovah's Witness guy. But what she got when she actually married him was something completely different.
Within a week, Jeff reveals the truth. He's been feeding her a steady stream of lies. He's been arrested for petty theft. He's never held a steady job. He isn't a disc jockey living in Hawaii. He's out of work and living in Houston with his mother.
Jeff was putting a persona forward that was not at all true, wanting himself to find a wife.
I think this guy was a loser from day one.
Kim is shocked, and she's even more upset to learn that while Jeff is a baptized Jehovah's Witness, he's not at all the devout follower he said he was during their courtship.
I want to go door to door again. Get back out.
Jeff Anderson could pretend to be a faithful witness.
No.
Because he knew the buzzwords that Jehovah's Witnesses use.
But I don't think he was particularly enamored of the religion. I think it was a relationship of convenience, his association with Jehovah's Witnesses.
I'm working on that, baby. I want y'all to be happy with me.
Jeff had promised to move his new family back to Canada after the wedding, but he doesn't have enough money.
I'm not a liar.
Instead, Jeff, Kim, and her 2 children, Yuri and Lindsay, move into a small apartment outside Houston.
This is my house.
She was quite frustrated. Jeff was not contributing financially.
This is not the life Kim was promised. But as a dutiful witness, she must respect her family's new patriarch.
You're right. You're right.
Then, things go from bad to worse. Jeff rules with an iron fist, criticizing Kim's shopping and housekeeping, demanding to know where she is at all times. And his cold domination of her turns physical.
No, please.
When Kim declines Jeff's sexual advances, he forces himself on her.
Jeff's being very violent in his sex with her, wanting to rape her.
She feared him. I think she was terrified.
To keep Kim in line, Jeff threatens to go to church elders if she resists. Kim knows that in their eyes, and the eyes of Jehovah, she would be seen as in the wrong.
There's sort of the unwritten rule that Jehovah's Witness women are to give their due, meaning the sexual due, to their husbands.
Women are supposed to be subservient sexually to their husbands.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Kim keeps her rising fear and anxiety to herself. But only 3 weeks into the marriage, her daughter Lindsay is on the phone with her father and says something that stops him in his tracks.
Mommy and Jeff were fighting and they got hurt.
She lets slip that she saw Kim and Jeff have a physical fight that left both of them with blood on their faces.
When we talked to Kim about that, she just said, oh no, that was an accident. We were unpacking some boxes and our heads bumped accidentally. And I believed it.
For Kim, going to the police is not an option. And neither is reporting the incident to the church.
If you talk to the elders, the man is the head. If the man tells you how to dress, you dress that way. If the man tells you how to sit, you sit that way. If the man tells you when to have dinner on the table, that's when you have it. If you don't, you're being insubordinate.
From my experience, women in abusive relationships tended to not complain.
Besides, the church wouldn't look kindly on a request for a second divorce.
If the elders don't believe that you have grounds for divorce, then the woman is stuck.
With her back against the wall, Kim tries to be the best wife she can be. For another month, the family struggles to get by, until Kim starts to suspect something that no mother could ignore.
Kim was suspicious that Jeff Anderson was molesting at least one of the children.
Kim isn't sure of the extent of the abuse, but she has a terrible feeling.
There clearly was something very seriously going wrong.
I think she knew about it, but just couldn't bring herself to talk about it.
Kim doesn't know where to turn. All she knows is that she can't stand idly by and allow harm to come to her innocent children. So just 6 weeks after her wedding, Kim manages to borrow enough money to fly with her children back to Canada.
I remember Kim and the kids coming and staying with us. All I remember was really loving having Yuri and Lindsay around, and just the sheer joy and beauty of those kids.
Hoping desperately for understanding, Kim goes straight to her congregation's church elders.
He lied. He told me he was a devout witness.
She tells them that she was duped by Jeff.
Go on.
She describes the fights, the violent sex,
He forced himself on me, and
the suspicions of child abuse. She asks the elders to support her decision to leave the marriage.
This guy was not good for her. She tried to reason with them, engage them, get them to pay more attention to her problems with him.
But church elders are not convinced. They say Kim has no solid proof Jeff is doing anything harmful to her children. And perhaps the problem is with her, not Jeff.
You have been divorced before. We discussed it.
They thought of her as being disloyal or headstrong.
Strive to make this marriage work and be a dutiful, faithful wife.
Church elders tell Kim she is scripturally obligated to make the marriage work.
Kim was beaten down. She was hanging on for dear life to what she wanted her life to be.
If Kim defies the elders, she faces disfellowship, being shunned by the church and her family. It's terrifying.
Kim grew up as a witness. That's the only thing she knew, and she was convinced that anything else would lead to death for her and her children.
Despite her instinct to protect her family from her husband,
of course,
Kim bows to the elders' authority.
you know what's best.
She invites Jeff to come join her in Canada.
Inwardly, she was wishing that he would go away and leave her alone, but outwardly, she had to show to the elders that she was compliant with the marriage.
Kim was caught in a web of wanting to belong, wanting to fit.
Kim hopes the elders will protect her if push comes to shove in her marriage. What she doesn't know is that nobody can save her from the evil still to come.
I can't begin to understand what was wrong with Jeff. I just don't get it.